All right, so I assume you're coming into this with a crop sensor Canon camera. Maybe you have the T3i or you have the 70, 80D, SL3, I don't know. There's so many out there, it's crazy. Maybe you have one or maybe you're planning on getting one, but you're probably looking for a wide angle lens. You come across this itty bitty 24mm STM by Canon and you think, this thing's like 90 bucks on eBay? That is like so cheap. And yeah, that is cheap, honestly. So you're probably wondering, are there any downsides? Well, yeah, of course there are. I mean, it's 85, 90 bucks. There's going to be downsides, but this is a good lens overall. So when I go through these downsides, I don't want you to hear this is a terrible lens and you should stray away as far as you can. But I just want you to be informed to make a good decision based on what you need and what you want also. So the first downside is that this is an EFS mount only. So that means that you can only put this on crop sensor Canon cameras that have the EFS mount on it. What that means is that you have the crop factor to consider of your camera. Most Canon crops are going to be a 1.6, that's using the APS-C sensor. So 1.6 multiplied by our 24 millimeters here, it's going to give you a little under 40 millimeters of equivalent like focal range. And that, my friends, is not a wide angle lens anymore. If it's 40 millimeters just about, then that's really kind of like a portrait standard focal length, and you're not getting a wide field of view at that point. And if that's okay with you, then that's okay, right? But if you're looking for wide in this price range, honestly, about the only option is like a kit lens or maybe some sort of like antique lens that you might need to like get an adapter for to hook on here. So the other downside of this being an EFS mount only is that you can't carry this over to a full frame camera. Say you want to upgrade in the future to a full frame, this won't fit that camera anymore. So just consider that if you ever plan on upgrading, maybe this wouldn't be the best investment, but 85 bucks is hardly an investment, to be honest. So like, I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. If you want to upgrade in the future, maybe just consider that, right? So the third downside of this being EFS mount only is that a lot of these crop sensor cameras, the APS-C cameras, don't do well in low light already. And this has an f2.8, which is not bad. It is better than your kit lens, right? So if you have a kit lens that starts at like 3.5, maybe it would be like 3.8 at 24 millimeters. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But f2.8 on a crop sensor is still not going to be a ton of light getting to your sensor. And so you just got to consider that you might still have issues with low light if you have a camera that already has issues with low light, if you know what I mean. But on the other side of things, f2.8 is really pretty good. You're going to get some separation of your subject and its background. You're going to have a pretty good depth of field, and it does let in more light than your kit lens. Now, aside from the crop factor stuff, there are some other downsides too. So one of which, it has quite a bit of vignetting in the corners. That's not a big deal to me. I mean, you lose a little bit of information if you have some like graininess there, but I vignette most of my videos anyway, so kind of whatever. They're just keep in mind it vignettes pretty harsh on the corners. It also doesn't have any hard stops, and all of these STM lenses are not physically connected to the focus motor, and so with that, you don't have like a hard stop if you're doing like manual focus, and then it just kind of goes on forever, but the motor stops running, you know. So the last downside I have for this is the fact that it's not weather sealed. And honestly, in this price range, I mean, there's not much that is weather sealed, so it's kind of like whatever. But also with weather sealing, you got to consider if your body isn't weather sealed, then you still shouldn't be out in like super heavy rain and like dunking your camera and stuff, right? But so you got to consider both the lens and the camera when you're thinking about weather sealing. Just keep that in mind if that's an issue for you. What I use this for a lot is going on vacations or traveling, that sort of thing. Or if I just want to take a hike in the woods and take some pictures, this is what I take because I can just fit it in my sweatshirt pocket. It weighs nothing. It takes up no space. It's so lightweight and little, and it's really good for just carrying around when you don't want to have a lot of stuff on you. It's a good lens. It just has downsides. Just consider that if you're planning on purchasing it and make an informed decision, right? Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this lens if you have it, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more things like this. That will tell me I should make more things like this. So thanks for watching. See you guys.